Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Shark Boy, and welcome to a little different kind of a video. Today is the first episode of Bukkit Beginners. Basically, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to develop and code Java plugins for your Minecraft server, or just in general. So, I'm going to go right from the get-go. I'm going to explain every little bit detail so you can understand. Even if you don't know anything about Java, I'm going to make sure that you understand, so I'm going to go over everything. So first things first, if you don't already have a developing plugin, no, you don't want to eat the 5 foods, cut down on stomach, whatever. So the first thing you want to do is, if you don't have a developing workbench, if you want to call it, go to Google and type in Eclipse download. So you can go to Eclipse, you can go to, well, there's many downloads here, but we'll go to the top one here, eclipse.org. And so you can download Windows 64-bit, or if you're 32-bit, or if you're on a Mac, such and such. So you can download that, and once that is fully installed, go on over to Bukkit.org, which Bukkit is one of many different Minecraft starters. It's kind of hard to explain, but it kind of runs the server, if you will. So when you go to Bukkit.org, head on over to Get Craft Bukkit at the top menu here, and you can download. Oops, no, not here either. What am I doing? Sorry, not Bukkit.org. At the beginning of Bukkit.org, do DL, which stands for download.bukkit.org. Now, you don't have to do this every time you're making a plugin. This is just a one-time thing until Minecraft Bukkit actually updates. So you can download the beta build or a recommended build, whichever you prefer. Obviously, if you are watching this at a later date and it is 1.8, 1.40 billion, you can download it as well. So everything is done here. You have Eclipse and you have Bukkit, or Craft Bukkit. So what do you do now? It's an empty workbench. You have no clue what to do. You're confused. Oh my goodness, what do I do? First things first, obviously right here, your package explorer. You won't have any plugins here. These are plugins that I've been working on and what I've been developing, and I'm still learning, so we'll go through everything here. So first things first, go up to File, go to New, Java Project. So it's kind of self-explanatory. Java Project, it's basically your plugin, put it that way. So what's your project name? What is it going to be? It's going to be My First Plugin. You can name it really whatever you want, but this one's just going to be My First Plugin. You click enter, and then it generates in this drop down menu an SRC and your JRE system library. This is basically these are more things that you can import to your plugin. They're quite hard to explain, but you don't really have to look at these much. Like you won't really need to look at these. Like I haven't had to go and look at these, when I've been developing. So you can kind of ignore that for now, at least. Okay, so you have your Java project, but you still can't type on the workbench here. So let's continue. Make sure My First Plugin is clicked. Go back to File, New, Package. Now you can name this really whatever you want. You can go com bucket. Oh no, Shark Boy. I don't even know. I don't do com. Anyways, what you can do is you can do me dot your name. So, Shark Boy dot My First Plugin, and there it'll let you do it. And now, if you have a number at the beginning of your name, this is actually not a 0. It wouldn't let me do a 0, so that's why I'm doing O. So you see, I can't do a 0, but I can do an O. So it doesn't really matter. It's just it can be really whatever you want. So finish. So now it generates this little box looking thing split into 4. So this is actually a package. Now a package can hold class files, which class files is your information for your plugin. So the class files actually works the plugin. So make sure you have your plugin or your package selected. I won't go in depth when it comes to actually having the class outside of the package. I won't go much in depth. I'll just put it right in the package and we'll go from there. So we're going to put the class file in the package by selecting the package, File, New, Class. Okay, so your name, you can honestly name it whatever you really want, but you have to start with a capital. It can't be lowercase. it even says right up here, type name is discouraged by convention. Java types names usually start with an uppercase letter. So it has to be uppercase. As you see, I don't have that problem, but when I do, or when I have lowercase, I do have that problem. So we're going to call this main. Many people call their, their main class files for their plugin main, or you can call it body, really, whatever you prefer. You can call it anything. So, and bam, you have some lines of code here, which, we're going to start, it's going to be interesting. So, before we actually get into developing side of it, make sure you click my first plugin, right click it, and you'll see a bunch of things here. Go on down to build path, and there's a little drop, or not a drop, an arrow pointed to the right. Hover over it and go to configure build path. Click that and go to add external jars. So from there you can scroll down wherever you found wherever you downloaded your Bukkit jar, you can import it here. So Craft Bukkit 1.7.9, and you just double click it and okay. So now basically the Bukkit allows you to import Minecraft related things into your plugin rather than just Eclipse and standard developing. This actually allows you to import Minecraft related things. So in this plugin we are going to be making a command. So first things first, if you ever want to make a command in your plugin, you need to extend your main class file. So this is easy. You go beside your class file, which is right here. Mine is called main. Yours can be called whatever you would really like. So all you're going to type is extends Java plugin. Now, keep in mind, you will get an error, and they are case sensitive, so you have to have Java plugin. So you're like, oh my gosh, I already have an error. I just wrote 2 words. Simple. Hover over Java plugin and import it, and it'll go away. Awesome. So that's you're kind of happy now, Oh, whew, good. So right now we are going to do the onEnable and onDisable. So basically what this is if you are a server owner and you know what your console is, whenever a plugin is enabled, it would say Essentials is now enabled, World Edit is now enabled, such and such and such. This is what that is basically what we're about to do now. So you just hit tab and you can do public void onEnable in 2 brackets. Don't worry, we will clean up all the errors afterwards. Space Bukkit with a capital dot get server brackets as well dot get logger brackets again dot info and then bracket, and then you actually have to, now we're gonna start importing text. So as you can see now, there's it's all your text within is blue. So you got to make sure you have the symbols here. That allows you to actually write text without, if you don't have them and I write inside, it won't actually go through. So we'll have this just turning on. Perfect. Done. And make sure, if you don't already, you have the semicolon at the very end. You need that. That's very important. Okay, so if you see an error and you're like, oh my goodness, I need to fix this, just read this and it says delete this token. Okay, sure. Delete. Gone. And this is an easy token, this is a very easy fix. Now, I got very confused on this, guys. Syntax error, insert, basically, the symbol to complete the class body. So this is easy. You usually put this at the very end of your class file. All you do is you hit space, and then you backspace, and you put one of the symbols, bam, it's gone. Simple. And then if you want to continue your code, what I usually do is hit enter there, and now I can continue without an error as well. So now we're going to do a public void onDisable, which basically tells us the server your plugin's turning off when your server goes off, or if there's a warning, or you can do really anything. You could do warnings for your plugin. You could do really anything you want. So public void, and now this one's quite self-explanatory, onDisable brackets again, and then Bukkit dot get server brackets dot get logger brackets again dot info bracket and turning off. Perfect. Okay, no errors, and we're doing good. So far this is our line of code, and basically this just allows you, this basically tells the server that your plugin's on. So when you turn on your server, you'll actually be able to see turning on from your plugin. So you could say you can do my first plugin. You can style it up to make it look good, whatever you want, really, just to make it, you know, look nice, and go from there. So that's that. So you know, that's how it looks right now. So we're actually gonna go on now and actually make a command, and I guess maybe the command will send a message to a player. So you know what, yeah, we'll do that. So this is your command. Now my command's just gonna be simple. It's gonna send the player who sent the command a message. So basically, if I entered /my plugin or whatever command we make, it's gonna send me a message of whatever I choose. You can make the command do really anything. You can make it teleport. You can set permissions behind it. You could do sounds. You could do anything you want with this command. But I'm just gonna be nice and simple, and we're just gonna make it send a message, so you guys can actually create your first command. Okay, so this first line of code here is quite long. I'll go nice and slow, but you need this if you're going to be making commands. So we'll go ahead and we'll start this here. So public boolean on command sender command cmd, short form from command, string command label string args and a brace. Okay, so right now you have errors and you're like, oh my gosh, no. You have to actually hover over and import all of them, and the error should go away. Sorry about that, I just didn't know what I was going to say there. So guys, if I should have went over this, but if you guys don't understand what I'm actually doing with these right here, they're called braces, sorry. I don't even know what to call them. They're called braces. They're used to hold specific information. So say if I deleted this brace, it would interfere with a command. So with this brace here, this brace holds specific information between this brace and this brace. That's why if you hover over it, you see it highlights this one. If you hover over this one, it highlights over that one. That tells you that, okay, within these two paragraphs or however much code, this is the information that's going to hold. But like I said, if I delete this, bam, error comes up. It's going to interfere with everything else, and your plugin is not going to work as efficiently and will probably have many bugs. So now that we have this working and there is this error, that's simple. Remember, now if you have your class body here and it's at the very end, you're like, dude, I thought I just can enter one, but if I enter multiple ones, it won't do anything. Now look, I have more errors. You can just throw this here, hit tab, space out again, backspace, brace. Now you will have an error here. It's just because you have to add a return statement, which I will explain in a bit. Okay, so we're going to make our actual command now. So all this is basically on command sender, which is the player, sender, short form as well, the command, short form for command, string, command label, which is the command itself, and then arguments and strings. So that's not much you really have to worry about, but you always have to have that if you're going to have a command. So if command.getName. So if the server sees that a player runs the command and you ignore capitalization or lowercase, so you ignore regarding if it's lowercase or capital, and this is the command, it's going to be my plugin. And you do the here we go. So let's see, we'll fix all this after. Oh yes, there's no period here, sorry about that. Perfect, now it's gone. I have to continue the class body. So if a player runs the command and equals ignore case my plugin. Now equals ignore case means it doesn't matter if it's uppercase or if it's lowercase. So it's going to ignore that. Either way, if it's my plugin, it's going to run this command. It's going to work. So it doesn't matter. You can do it uppercase or lowercase, whatever you prefer. So if it notices this, the plugin is going to, and we're going to tell it what to do. Sorry, I have to have a brace at the end here. So now we're going to get it to send a message to a player. So if you want to tell the server, hey, there's a player here, dude. We need to find out, how do you recognize this player? You can't just say player.send message. You can't do that. It doesn't work because it doesn't know what player is. It doesn't understand player. We do, but the code doesn't. So this is where you actually have to recognize the player. So player P. So that player is going to be recognized as P equals player sender. Perfect. Now you have errors. Dude, what the heck? Simply import it. Okay? Good. Errors are gone. Okay? Now if you're going to broadcast a message, you can do string. Yeah, you know what? No, we won't get into broadcasting right now. We'll do that another time. So, okay. So how do we actually send this message now? Simple. P, because player is recognized as P, dot send message bracket chat color. So it's the color it's gonna be. We're gonna make this gold. So all caps gold. You can click this too. It'll highlight blue in italic. It'll go italic in a moment. So chat color, it's gonna be gold, and you always have to do an addition sign so it knows. Okay, here it's gonna be the message. So say if you want to do chat color gold plus chat color dot bold plus the actual message, it would be gold and bold, but in this case we're just gonna have it gold. Okay, and it's gonna be message. Perfect. So far our plugin sends a message to the player that says my plugin. It says message. So actually we'll change it to this is my first plugin. I'm very proud of myself. There we go. So, this is my first plugin. I'm very proud of myself. Good job, dude. You did great. So, we're not quite done yet. We're just going to clean the class body up here. And, oh, before I even forgot, we have to add the return statement. So, you can simply hover over this and go add return statement. It'll put it in between the braces here so it doesn't interfere with anything. To my knowledge, we will have to check this out. You'll always have to have return true at the bottom, because if you have, instead, with the brace gone, and you have return false, it's going to repeat the command /myPlugin. So instead of actually doing all this information you put in, it's going to do /myPlugin rather than actually sending a message. So you have to return true, brace, and within two braces, which are these two, return false. Okay? So right now, this brace is hooked up with this one, and I just said between them. So just make sure in between two braces you always have return false at the end of a command. Now if you're running multiple commands, you don't always have to put return false at the bottom. You could put it after all the commands are done. That's simple. So we're done the plugin. So actually no, we're almost done. All we have to do now is we actually have to make our plugin.yml. So let me just get reference here from these old plugin YMLs. So go click on your Java project, which is my first plugin. File, new, file, plugin.yml, enter, and so we have this so far. Oops, actually no, I don't want to undo that. So you guys can just copy this out here. The name of it is going to be my first plugin, version 1, and it's looking for the main class. It's looking for the class file. So where can I find it? You can find it under me.o9sharkboy.myfirstplugin.main. Okay? That's where you can find it. The author was o9sharkboy, or yourself. It doesn't really matter. And the description is my first plugin. Yay! So, Now you have to do commands. If you don't put commands down here, your plugin won't work. It simply won't register because it doesn't register the commands. Without this, your commands won't work. The plugin is practically useless. So you have to do commands. The command name, which is my plugin, and then slash command. The description of your command, which is a test command. So simple. Now all you do is you save, close. Okay, so we're done. Now we just have to export it. You could save, and here we go. You go up to File. Make sure you're also selected on my first plugin. File, Export, click Jar File, Next, my first plugin, and if it has a different name down here, you could just put my first plugin. Perfect. Make sure all these are selected at the side. If your plugin YML doesn't show up, simply click and drag it up to the top here, and it'll make a copy file of it, and you can then select it. Okay, so we're done. Finish. Uh-oh, we have a little issue. One sec. F5. There we go. Okay, now we shouldn't have an issue anymore. My first plugin. Perfect. So we're done. I will see you guys in game. Okay, guys. So as you can see in the console, I'll actually go over this now. I apologize about that. If you don't already have a server set up, you need to set one up, which you can look at many tutorials for it. So you'll have to get your plugin that you saved, go to plugins, and click and drag it in, which I do right here. It is my first plugin, and as you can see, bam, my first plugin turning on. Awesome. So now we're in game now. Don't mind everything else. This is just for future reference of Pixel and such. So we'll just throw this out of here. And if we do /pl, which stands for plugins, my first plugin is here. You do /help, my first plugin. It says my plugin. Bam. It's my first plugin. I'm very proud of myself. Perfect. That's awesome, guys. You made your first plugin, and it runs a command. You guys, if you put your heart to it, you can become an awesome developer. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If we can let's hit 30 likes, I will continue doing this series, and let me know what you guys want to learn in the description. I'll take a nice and long time, and I'll make sure I go through every little detail for it. And as myself, I'm still learning. I'm still a small developer, as many people are. So, thank you all so much for watching, and 30 likes, and I'll continue. So, thank you guys. I'll see you guys later.